MrBeast is done with Dr. Kris respect. After being made aware that Kris Tyson is Drake's biggest fan, MrBeast has finally issued a lengthy response condemning Dr. Kris respect's degenerate actions, such as busting on Club Penguin lollipop pictures, and texting multiple kids when he was 20 years old sus messages, and calling these kids dead. And what MrBeast said is exactly what we all expected. He essentially confirms that no, what Kris tweeted is not true. No, we did not mutually agree that Dr. Kris respect steps out to focus on their mental health, on their family. Nah bro, I fired Kris's ass. Just like I said in the last video, I'm not surprised at all about this response. When Kris tweeted yesterday that it was mutually agreed upon that I leave the MrBeast brand, and I am stepping out of my own volition from the MrBeast brand to focus on my mental health. We knew all along that you were capping, and then MrBeast fired your PDFL ass. And I don't know about you guys, but I'd rather believe MrBeast over Kris. After all, Kris has proven to be a sick freak and a liar when they said in their own trash apology that nothing wrong was ever done and that it was just edgy jokes. When any normal human being knows fully well that literally busting the Club Penguin lollipop pictures of 10-year-old kids is not an edgy joke. I mean, damn bruh. Kris is so attracted to pictures of lollipops that he couldn't even leave his Club Penguin lollipop pictures in his hard drive like the other PDF files. He had to put them on his wall. Supporting a literal Club Penguin distributor by befriending them and buying a literal Club Penguin picture from them, but a Club Penguin distributor who not only drew pictures of lollipops, but also pictures of real-life kids, such as this YouTuber's 8-year-old daughter. While supporting a Club Penguin distributor by buying from them is not an edgy joke either, and literally texting multiple kids sus messages and calling them sus names is not an edgy joke. MrBeast also finally confirmed that Kris is not like us, and he's hired a third-party legal investigation team to see if there's any more dirt that can be uncovered from Dr. Kris respect. And I will not be surprised if this investigation leads to even more dirt about Kris, and if MrBeast ultimately decides to sue Dr. Kris respect. But talking about digging up for more dirt, I literally did the Pikachu shocked face when a third kid just got hit by Kris's virtual meat, bruh. Nathan, a third victim of Dr. Kris respect, revealed that Kris was also after his chicks and also slid into his DMs when he was a kid, while Kris was in his 20s.
Kris Tyson from MrBeast used me and manipulated me and did very weird things with me while I was about 15. Me and him were both initially involved in running Kris's Discord server, helping him set up his Twitch streams and moderating them.
Nate's calling me. Hey, what's up? You're on stream.
You just leaked your address. Please end your stream.
This server later went public and became his official Discord server, but before it did, he had me and Lava spend multiple days scrubbing this Discord server clean of all of the enemies he had sent in it, as well as his friends, as well as deleting the NSFW channels and making sure no one could see that he was spamming corn to mothers. He would also frequently bring up topics that was definitely not appropriate to bring up around 15, 16 years old, especially with him being like, I don't know, 20, 21 years old. He would even go as far as linking me several different corn and hen videos throughout the time of me talking with him. I was definitely uncomfortable at being called daddy by a 20-year-old. And even just thinking about it now, it's just uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If I was a kid and this sus person called me daddy, someone's getting jumped, straight up. Huge skibbity update, guys. As of a few minutes ago, the third victim just went full mask off and leaked the whole Discord server logs.
Thanks to an old friend of mine who was a moderator in Kris's Discord server at the time, Cookie. Now, Cookie actually went ahead and downloaded logs of all the individual channels on Kris's server before it went public, knowing that this was kind of being covered up, and he kept the logs of it for himself. He actually reached out to me here on Twitter, and I'm gonna provide a lot of the screenshots backing up the claims that I made.
And while reading them, what I saw showed me that Kris 1000% needs to be locked up and drop the soap. Another piece of evidence of Kris being a degenerate group. Remember how Kris would call them kids, daddy? Well, by doing so, the kids themselves, such as Nathan, started calling Kris that word. Now, I'm not trying to jump into any conclusion, but I'm pretty sure that's what grooming is. So essentially, what would happen in a Discord server, on top of Kris sharing sus videos with kids?
He would even go as far as linking me several different corn,
which, let's be real, is already disgusting enough and gives huge PDFL sus vibes. But what Kris would do on top of that is hire his own moderation team, which would be composed of kids, and he would create a sus channel in his Discord server where corn sus videos would be posted within. And you've guessed it, kids on top of his moderation team would be able to access it. Bruh, Dr. Kris respect is never beating the allegations. Like, why is Kris surrounding themselves with kids? They've got a kid moderation team, they've got kids in their DMs. Sliding in kids' DMs is EDP Riz, Kris. But they've got easy access to millions of kids through the MrBeast connections. Someone put this PDF file in jail already! But that sus channel with all the sus videos within it would be open for anyone to see. And you've guessed it, his moderation team that's composed of kids were told to moderate that sus channel. I can't, man. I can't with Kris. There are so many skeletons in Kris's closet. It's unreal. Imagine telling kids to moderate a channel filled with glizzies. But then again, remember, this is to be expected from Kris. After all, we're talking about the same person who literally shared revenge pics of Jeanette McCurdy to his literal kid audience, bruh.
She sent pictures to her boyfriend, her now ex-boyfriend, and he leaked them out. And the link's in the description if you want to see them. I mean, I'm not endorsing people to go look at somebody else's private business.
Why does Kris like to share core with kids so much? I'm pretty sure that's illegal. It is in my book anyway. Fortunately, some people in Kris's server were normal and expressed concern over the sus channel. For example, someone told Kris that it was a bad idea to let the sus channel be viewable by anyone, considering the fact that the Discord server was primarily composed of kids, and on top of that, Kris was told to have a proper moderation team, and not kids, to moderate that sus channel. Of course, you can see Nathan crying here and being against that idea. Nathan being Kris's third victim. You have to remember that Nathan was a kid back then, so he would be losing his moderator powers as well. And as you know, Skibidi kids, they crave Discord moderator powers, bruh. They want that Discord custom role color. So the fact that Nathan is crying is hilarious, but it does make sense, considering that he was a kid back then, and that this would mean that he would lose his powers, his moderator, neckbeard powers.
So if I check logs right now, will I see your prop?
Nope.
Alright, so you're gonna be jailed today for 10 minutes. So you get to read the MOTD, okay?
Nope. I think it's time I better be leaving.
But when Kris was told to age gate the sus channel and restrict it from minors, this is what he had to say. What am I? A parent? Someone look this up. This is so funny and sad, considering the fact that Kris is now a parent. And I would even go as far as to say, unfortunately, Kris is now a parent. Because let's be real, no kid whatsoever deserves a PDF file as a parent. Poor kid, bruh. Poor kid. These leaks just reaffirm my stance that Kris is not like us. Dr. Kris Respect understood that what they were doing could get them in trouble, which is why they would always ask their moderators to scrub everything and to remove all the evidence. But luckily, because of someone who went rogue, all of Kris's sus logs were saved. Kris asking people to remove all of the evidence reminds me of how Kris completely deleted their Snapchat account as soon as another victim of Kris exposed the Snapchat logs between Kris and him. But don't worry guys, these are definitely the actions of someone who's innocent and not guilty. Now really quick, let me give you an example of what a brain-dead lobotomized individual looks like. So believe it or not, but some people are mad at Penguin Zero because in his video of Kris Tyson, he apparently misgendered Dr. Kris Respect. Imagine being angry because someone misgendered Kris instead of being angry that Kris turned out to be a degenerate creep who busts lollipop pictures and DMs real kids. Penguin Zero guys, we need to cancel him. Misgendering Kris is way worse than what Dr. Kris Respect did. Like something tells me that these brain individuals are fighting the wrong battle here. Now there's a hilarious funny video that's surfacing right now about EDP, who's another huge YouTuber who got exposed for being a pedophile, who somehow called this whole thing out about Kris more than a year ago.
Kris Tyson supports child. He's into that freak. We gotta protect our youth. We gotta protect our kids and our goddaughters and our nephews and our nieces and our cousins from weird freak like this. You feel me? Kris Tyson and Shadman, excuse me, they're into lava. Lava is basically Japanese manga that is little kids.
What an amazing message delivered by possibly the worst messenger. Like a PDF file calling out another PDF file and telling people to protect their kids from Kris is crazy. Now, I don't know how he managed to call this whole thing out more than a year ago. I don't know if he had insider knowledge or something, but this might just be a case of the it takes one to know one rule being applied. But now that we have all this information, let's talk about Kris's divorce. I genuinely feel like that Kris's wife was onto something. I remember MrBeast defending Kris and saying that the divorce had nothing to do with Kris ditching their family, and that Dr. Kris Respect was a good parent who was always there for their son. Now, I don't want to be that guy, but MrBeast also tweeted that Kris was not his nightmare. And with the information that we have today, I think we can all agree that Kris is definitely MrBeast's nightmare. And with the information that we have today, I genuinely feel like Dr. Kris Respect did ditch their family, did ditch their kid to chase after other kids. As we know, divorces happen because something went wrong. And I genuinely feel like the wife saw some weird vibes about Kris. Perhaps some PDF file vibes, dressing the 4-year-old son as a girl, for example. As I've said in the last video, dressing up your kid is a red flag in my book. It's not a big deal on its own, but when you combine all of the other red flags, such as Kris busting on lollipops, DMing kids, and literally sending sus videos to them.
He would even go as far as linking me several different corn.
When you add up the fact that Kris was literally dressing up their kid, you can just confirm straight up that Kris had a sus thing for kids. A lot of people have also called out journalists for being very biased in their news covering. For example, when Dr. Disrespect got exposed for texting one minor sus messages, you had articles left and right bashing him, rightfully so, saying stuff like he knew that he was sending sus messages to a minor. But when Kris is getting exposed for texting not one, not two, but 3 kids? After Kris Tyson steps away from all things MrBeast amid trans attacks. Boing! Boop. Moments? I said it once and I'll say it again. If you're a normal human being, we all agree that we don't give a fuck about what Kris is. This is not a trans attack. This is a pedophile attack. When you see articles like this, and any member of the LGBTQ Disney Plus movement will agree when I say that you're just hurting the movement. You're not helping it one bit. If you're telling me that we can't even expose pedophiles who happen to be trans without branded bricks saying that we're only calling out Kris because they're trans, then you need to rebrand your website from Rolling Stone to Rolling Doomstone, bro. Because ain't no one messing with your website then. Now something tells me that this is not the last time we're gonna hear about Kris Tyson. But surely we're not gonna hear about a 4th kid who also got called daddy by Kris, right?
Money, 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 money.